How we all doing? Hope you're keeping well out there. How's tricks? How am I looking on the telly? Move that and I'll be able to see myself. Oh yes. Not bad at all. Actually, the television looks much brighter on the YouTube camera. Oh, probably turn them down a little bit. Not bad at all. How are we all doing? Norman Donnelly got the notification for this live stream. Well, that's good. At least someone's getting notified about something. Good stuff. For the first time since you. Oh. Indeed, I have underscored. I've got the white coat on, alright. Business, you know. So, see if we can get a better camera angle on that one. There we go. That's a bit better. Fully dressed tonight. Yeah. Trousers on and all. Yeah, no, we're looking good. Oh, there, Kev. After all that. Hello from Maine, USA. Good evening, sir. How are you? We hope you're keeping well out there. Pi TV, very good, Richard. It is indeed a Pi 368. But a slightly tired show, but what can you do? There's not a whole lot we can do to rectify that these days. Well, let's start the evening with an old cheers, lads. Thank you all for joining us tonight in the workshop. How am I getting the picture on the TV? We'll get into that in a minute. Wait for a few more to come, but basically I'll explain. I'm using a very old CCTV camera that I picked up at the NVCF/Retrotech. That was part of an amateur radio setup, and I'm feeding the video output out of that into my Philips pattern generator, and then that's acting as a modulator, and we're steaming the RF then into the back of the Pi on UHF. So that's how it's all working. The tube was really tired in the Pi tonight when I turned it on, but it seems to have woken up in the last half hour or so. Not the webcam, no, that'd be just too advanced. No, we're real old school. Well, you'd end up with problems with feedback, you see, if I did that probably. So Rob's radio channel is in the chat too. Good evening, Rob. How are you? And Wolf Warren is telling us that he's having a Sierra Pale, an IPA. Good man. Underscar, get the lighter out and give us some tube flare on the camera. Could do that. Yeah, because it suffers from a bit of latency, to say the least. Um, so I don't know. Let's see if we go up to it in my coat and it gets a bit over modulated. She stays there for a second. Oh, it's not doing it now. It's doing it here. Well, if I open her up a bit, we open up the aperture. Oh, yeah, it doesn't like that. Oh. Ooh. Here we go. Vidicon or similar, probably. Rayborn underscore. There's people stalking over here. Yeah, they're not. They're a bit of crack, are they? They're a bit of crack. I think I went one crack on that too. Wow. Oh, there we go. Yeah, back in colour. Just something different. Rayborn's in the chat too. We've 20 watching with 10 thumbs up. So you know what to do. Be interesting to see who else pops up. And the Carol's here as well. Good evening, Anna. Do keep an eye on my sound output. I know you're all pretty quick to say when it's gone wrong. Anyway, I take it you're hearing me okay tonight. So who have we got in the chat at the minute? We have. I don't think the white coat's gonna stay on because it's too bloody warm for. Barry inquires, was I at Moynalty? I wasn't at Moynalty, yeah. Good day out, although we got drowned. We were up looking at the trucks. There was a heavy shower of rain. Moynalty's always a good hour show. Who else have we got here? Shane Bright. Hi, love your videos. I have an 80s Philips CT that works, but when switched on, the snow has a pink hue to it and the speaker hums. Has the tube gone? I was looking to get it repaired. Thanks. It's quite possible that the tube is down a little bit on emission, alright, but it could probably be tidied up by resetting the video gains and the A1s. So I wouldn't just write it off just yet. Barry said he was looking for me. You must have missed me, so sure. What would you say to me if you see me anyway? Who else have we got here? Let's check the live participants tonight. So far we've underscore Baskib, Enda Carroll, Kev B, Neil's Old Radios, Norman Donny, Rayborn, Richard 100, Rob's Radio Channel, Ronan Misdale, I hope I pronounced that right, Shane Bright, and Wolf Rare, which I've also pronounced wrong, I'm sure. Back to the chat. George Christophe is here. He hopefully is in good form. George, we are very sorry. Those of us that follow you and your electronic adventures are obviously aware of what has happened to you, George, with regards to the fire in your workshop and damage to your house and whatnot. So we send our best wishes to you. A real nightmare, that one. Let me just go back to the chat again to see, did I miss something? Kevy B is here, I said that. Am I going to Duala next Sunday? What's that, Enda? And where is it? What's all that about? Do tell. Radio Restorations by Colin is here. George Christophe says he's still alive and kicking, which is good. Mrs. Alshon has just popped into the chat too. Cody's is here as well. Shane Bright, thank you. It's a lovely set, and don't want to scrap it. Hopefully, after what you said, it'll go for another 5 to 10 years. Absolutely, yeah. I wouldn't. It's one of those things you have to say it, but if it's just given a bit of, if it's given plenty of snow and what have you, it's obviously got the tube's got a bit of life left in it yet. So probably just wants to twiddle on the A1s or something like that. I mean, they are sort of 40 years old, these things. So you know, if it was a car, there'd probably be due a service. We have all the gear, no idea. Good evening, Chris is also with us. Wonderful stuff. What have we got here actually? It's the Tipperary Truck Show. Oh, I wasn't aware of it. No, we probably won't get down to that. That's next Sunday, is it? No, I'm unlikely to make that. Just a bit far at the minute with stuff. So, who else have we got here in the chat now? We've got Baskip _ all the gear, no idea. Cody's and the Carol. George Christophe. Irvine 70. Kevin B. Michael White is here. Norbert Donny. Radio Restorations by Colin Rayburn. Rob's Radio Channel. Ronan and Shane Bright. The man that's having a bit of bother with his Phillips. I have a Phillips. Don't know what the model number is with either the KT3 chassis, I think it is, in the house at the minute. 16-inch. Absolutely cracking picture on it. It's obviously had very little use. So we found the other week a few VHS tapes of Father Ted that have been recorded off here and off Channel 4 back in 97, 98. So myself and Mrs. Odgenodge have been watching them, complete with ads and all, in the evening on the little KT3. Absolutely cracking picture. Yeah. All the gear says, our man Chris, lovely to see you. Glad to see you're going from strength to strength. The flute box still cracks me up after all these years. Yeah, that was a good one, Ari. That's back in the early days now. You were an early subscriber. That was early days of aviation back then, Chris. Absolutely. And you'll be over here working on the railway still? No, you're saying you're working involved with trains and so forth, signalling in. Is the KT3 the vertical chassis? Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Probably the last of that kind of a style, actually. Lovely little set. I must bring it out here just to have a look in the back, because I do hear a bit of VHT brushing coming from the back of it. So it's probably due a little tidy up around the final anode connector. Most likely. Oh dear. He died when he was looking for the contrast. Twiddle it down a bit. I think the tube's improving as it's on. Drifting a little bit. Andy is on as well, right now at the minute. Well, he's usually finished by now. I try not to clash with other YouTubers that I know to be on. He's usually gone to bed at this stage. Well, not gone to bed. That's not fair. But he's usually off the box by now. Now, if I had the computer hooked up to this TV, we could tune in and watch Andy. But I don't, so we can't. Questions. Where are people tonight watching me from? Some of you have answered this in previous live streams, but if you want to just put your location or where you are, it's interesting to know where people are tuning in from. Donny's on the Beamish. My tipple of choice round this evening is a few cans of Heineken. talking to. George Christophe is in the remains of the workshop over there. Irvine 70 is watching me from Harrow in London. South Yorkshire. I'm not going to say the name of that town. Rayborn says he's at home. That's fair enough. Kevy B's in Liverpool. Neil's All Radios is in Herts. Royston. Shane Bright asks, are the adjustments simple as I could do if it's just twiddling a pot? If not, I'll look into getting it repaired. Problem is a few engineers local to me won't touch Phillips. Well, look, you can take the back off and have a squint. Be careful and have a go with it. But just be careful. You don't twiddle everything out of control. You know, if it's gone pink, I'd suggest turning the red gun down a little bit. Red gun or red drive. It may not have separate A1 controls, but it certainly should have separate drive controls. So probably just turn the red gun down a little bit. Barnsley, where the big bus scrapyard is. Cheese Bottom. Penis Stone. It's not penis. That's probably not how you pronounce it, though, obviously. It's probably Penistone. That would make more sense. In Barnsley. Biggest scrapyard in the UK for buses. We were in Barnsley once. Get bus shit. A long time ago. So, anyone else from anywhere interesting? Who else have we got in the chat here? We've got Baskib is still here. Who else? No, but Danny's hanging in there too. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many people tune into me tonight. Richard 100 is in Edinburgh. Rob's Radiotron's been spitting out a few videos lately. Good man, Rob. Brum Adam is here. Good man. Excellent stuff. Yeah, we have a few in tonight now, alright. If you solder all three terminals of the red gun pot together, does that make it work right? It'll make it do something, alright, yeah? Definitely not a bad idea, George. Don't do that, Shane. Don't do that. It's a bad idea. Is Muff in Scotland? I don't know if there's a Muff in Scotland. There's a Muff in Donegal. And the Carol is in Castle Island in Kerry. Very good, Enda. We've got 32 people watching with... we have Baskib, who is currently working on a Bosch TV22. Not a set that I have myself. I have the 12-inch version here somewhere. The TV24. That's it. Yeah. Never did get going. Most families having a diving school in Donegal. Of course, yes. The Muff Festival has been featured on Justin Stafford's YouTube channel. Justine Stafford's YouTube channel, should I say. Yeah, so I went diving at Muff once years ago. Oh, behind me now, though. Oh, we have a video on the TV22. Oh, good man. Well, I didn't you restore one of those years ago, Chris? Yeah, I seem to remember you telling me that. Way back when. Or was it a TV 62 or 63? Or a little Bakelite friend? The Muff Festival has been featured. Oh, yeah, I read that. Jeez. I went diving in Muff. You couldn't make it up. Tommy Hanlon's here. Good evening, Tommy, sir. How are you? Barry informs us that he has a TV 24A as well. Micah White, we have a small village called Bills and Crackpot near me. If it's electronic colour and contrast pots, probably a dead battery, yeah, quite possible. There's various, I don't know what chassis it is, so yeah, the model number doesn't mean a whole lot to me. I suppose you could go and ask advice on one of the television forums. There you will be able to share pictures of your television so they'll know exactly what you're talking about. The VRAT forum or the UK VRR forum, or some of the Facebook things. I'm not into the Facebook. But there's loads of information available on such things. Cody says, so would you class yourself as a muff diver, JJ, now you've been diving in muff? I've never actually been to Donegal. We have a village close by called No Place. Another high Handon Hall. Starting to rain here again. Some summer, isn't it? Flipping heck, JJ's. How many is this? How many what? Turn the camera a bit. I want to see the controls on the TV. There's always someone who wants to say something. Let's see. There you go. There you go. That's a bit better. That's a bit rubbish. Problem is the light is shining directly on the screen, which doesn't help. But then I need to be fairly well illuminated for that old camera to pick me up. Camera's a bit shit. I suppose I could show the camera as well when I'm at it. Hello. Yeah, she's proper old school. I'd say you're going back to the 70s with that one. Well, someone that's very smart here telling me exactly what the model is and all. I never opened it up or looked at it, just plugged it in and it worked. So that's as far as I went with that. What's the topic tonight? The topic tonight is rambling about nonsense, particularly regarding vintage electronics. So, is anyone else working on anything interesting? We know that Barry is working on a TV22, which is an interesting television. Anyone else working on anything of note or interest? What RF channel are you using on the set? I don't know what channel it is, but it's just it's tuned to the default frequency out on the PM5415, which is 500 megahertz. What's that? Channel 22, 23, something like that. Oh, I have a chart. Hold on a minute. 495 to 502 is channel 24. You know. Let me scan up through the chat again. We've 30 people watching now. At least the rain is stopping the hackers reigniting. No harm anyway. Them hackers are rubbish. Rob's Radio Trans is get the big storm last night. We didn't date here, Rob. Yeah, very bad, very bad. Indeed, White Sapphire. Yeah, channel 24 is 498 megahertz. Yeah, so it's down to 500. Brum Adam reports that he has bought a Spitfire AM transmitter after the live chat on Thursday. Seller offered 10% off too. Oh, did you mention Odge Nodge? That's great news anyway. Yeah, wonderful. I appear to be fading away. She's drifting a bit. Oh, that gives me an idea. Something someone said about something. Don't mind me. Let's see what happens. Ooh. Jeez. Look at the state of that. I could really draw my name on the screen. Probably shouldn't really do that. I think it damages the target in the long run, doesn't it? Did I sell my fence? No, not yet. The fence remains. Although I've had a lot of interest in the fence. Is reception from broadcast TV a bit flaky in the shed? Well, I'd have to put an outdoor area up to get reception here, which I have not bothered to do in the 5 years at least. Anyway, that I have the shed. I don't bother. Don't take offence. Take it gay. It's cheaper. Chipmunk is in the chat. Well done, Chipmunk. John Joe is on the tube on YouTube. George Christophe's latest project is, of course, packing components into storage boxes. Probably washing all the smoke off them too. That's not fun. Not fun at all. Those lighter marks are still on the screen. Jesus. Now, sorry, I've lost touch with the old chat there a little bit. Let me try and catch up here. There'll be no cross-channel interference now on analog now. I read that. AM Spitfire transmitter, Brum Adam mentioned. Not easy trying to get a house these days, if you're here in Ireland especially. Who else have we got here? Northern Rambler is here as well. White Sapphire is off to feed the cattery. In case anyone was wondering, it's only 100 and... Go away, Norman. Do you still have analog transmission? We do not. Only in the shed. On this Pi 368. Pi 368, and sorry to hear about your fire, George. Good man, Chipmunk. Reese informs he's been reading about thermionic emission to understand how the heaters in CRTs works. Yeah, ta Chipmunk, all I could do about it. So just dealing with the aftermath. Got to strip the entire workshop out for repairs. Oh God. Shane Bright asks, is there anything on a long wave transmitter I'd like to build? If you're into electronics a bit and you can do a bit, look up Lofer transmitters. LOWFER. It's a thing that's going on mainly in the USA, but there's a lot of transmitter designs. So they're only beacons, but of course you can modulate them if you wanted to do so. He says there's no decent video about house CRTs. I'm sure there must be. There must be videos on YouTube about how CRTs works. There has to be. We've got 35 watching with 26 thumbs up, so you know what you have to do. It's just gone 9:30. Interesting how the railway transmitter and the Isle of Wight transmits in mixed polarization, so you can set your area vertically to avoid interference. Patrick Bourne says something needs work. I don't know what he's talking about. Me, probably. Chip, did you see what I mentioned above? If you can build a medium wave transmitter, then the same circuit with minor changes will work on long wave. I have found that destroying a Roberts set gave me the right coil needed for the tank circuit. Because the only problem is, George, as you've probably discovered, is the inefficiencies of a short wire aerial at long wave frequencies. That's the hard part to get around. Your television. It's not the television that needs work. It's just, I think it's more the camera than the television. Television's alright. There's plenty of videos, but they all go into the same level of detail. I want to know exactly how the dot is produced on the phosphor of the glass. I suppose the other thing is, Patrick, is that this television is 55 years old. The camera is probably not far off either, so you know, you have to look at these things like, say, a Morris Minor or something. You wouldn't go onto the M6 and drive the bollocks out of it and think it's gonna go alright. It's hard to understand invisible things like electrons. They are apparently sucked off the filament by the high voltage and accelerate towards the screen. Any excuse to kill a Robert set. Yeah. Yep, I use a 96-foot wire on my transmitter, so there, well, you've probably got some chance of loading her up for long wave there. Not unless you want to put new ball joints in our first John, says Rayborn. Indeed, yeah, she probably could do with a set of ball joints, and I think the tracking's out a little bit too. Think so. Indeed. So we've got 34 people watching, 30 thumbs up, so we're doing well. So what is everyone at tonight other than watching me? Let's see who the participants are. We have All the Gear, no idea. Bro Adam, Patrick Bourne, George Toffee, Kevy B, Ray Bourne, Reese, Rob's Radio Channel, and the Chipmunk, all participating in the live stream at the moment. Of course, White Sapphire is going to feed the cats, so she will be back. We heard that George put the fire out using Robert's sets. And Reese is finding it interesting how colour televisions work. Indeed. Big fan of the DAC 90. Oh, the start and end of all radio is the DAC 90. Shane Bright said, it's such a shame. Gold 1548 is gone in September. Hopefully Caroline can take that frequency. I know it won't happen, but Caroline's almost inaudible on my RFM3 in West London. It's a shame, alright. I am indeed, Kevin. Very good. I am indeed using a 2-in-1 splitter as an extender. Yeah, well, you know, we were in a hurry to get on the air, and I couldn't find my extender doofers. Although I know I've loads of them somewhere, but there's none in my little bag of RF and video plugs and adapters and things. TalkSport is still there, all right. Yeah, I haven't heard of a close down date for them, but it seems to be accelerating towards getting rid of anything that might be interesting. Which is an awful shame. The Rock, I used to listen to that on internet radio. Alright, that was a good radio station. I haven't heard that in a long time, actually. I must dig that out again. The price of energy is a big motivator. Unfortunately, it is. Yes, that's not doing us any favours. And there just isn't the interest there, of course. So, it is what it is. There's not much we can do about it. This is, I loved medium wave online radio has become the new shortwave. I recently bought an iStream 3, but keep going back to the Rambler. Okay, Rob, see you later on. Everything UK side is going DAB. Although the FM dial is massively packed in cities, that's the same in Ireland too. I would say, in my opinion, they over-license the FM band to keep pirates out. So, especially around the large cities in Ireland, it's almost impossible to find a free bit of space. Neil's old radios, I read somewhere that 1548 was supposed to go at the end of August, But one of the advertisers had paid for a campaign to end in September, so kicked off about, oh, so now the end of September. Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. Lovely stuff. So, unfortunately, it's all dying a death. We've a few more people after tuning in there. Give us an old thumbs up and do say hello in the live chat. I know there's a few people who never, ever comment in the live chat. But of course, you are more than welcome to do so. And even if you just want to put a thumbs up or do something, it is appreciated. It's a shame there isn't some way the radio enthusiast community can't form some kind of group to help fund transmitters of these stations that are being pulled. Well, of course, the other answer to that is, which I've often said, is build your own little transmitter and stick it up in the air. Garrick Brennan, hi, new here. Just enjoyed your video on the vintage TV you picked up in the UK. That might have been the GC. Welcome aboard, sir. Thanks very much. Brian Allman is here as well. Hello, good evening, Brian. I hope you're keeping well too. Wonderful. 96.7 and 97.4. That's close, all right. I'm sure there's closer here, though. First the World Service, then Absolute Radio, then RTE, now Golden Radio 4 at risk. It's not that Radio 4 is at risk, it's Radio 4 is going in the bin, unfortunately. And in March, it's going to be gone in the bin. It's terribly sad, really. So we've 36 viewing here. No way. It has to be a rock station. Unfortunately, the UK hasn't got one. No, they haven't. So that's why you listen to New Zealand radio. We are now coming up to 9:45. So I suppose I could start one of a few I will do tonight. That is polls. I know how you all like to participate in polls. Do. It is sad. TV is going the same way, though. I read somewhere that the BBC will be online only by 2030 or before. Yeah, well, that's certainly in the pipe. I mean, very few people these days watch linear, as they say, television. A silly little poll. Get it going. Entertaining will be a streaming service of some description. Or, I mean, take all of you for example. Tonight you're streaming me on YouTube instead of watching the box. But then there's probably nothing on the box worth watching. So that's pretty much the way it is. Seems to be heading that way. No, Kevin. I'm watching you on the box. Well, yeah. Well, it's not the same as watching the BBC. I'm watching you on the TV on a pie, I believe. Oh, very good. Brian Almond says the TV license should be scrapped. Yeah, it's interesting. All these streaming services are going up, and when they realise that they have people by the short and curlies, that's when they'll get them. But then again, turn the bloody box off and go outside and do something. You know, we don't need a license to listen to radio. Indeed. Let's see how the poll is getting on. I do encourage everyone to join and to do the poll. 26 votes in the poll. 42% of people collect vintage TVs. 58% of people do not. Now's your chance to vote. If you have not already voted, do vote now. Vote now. Voting ends. Voting ending. Voting finished. Thomas alerts. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I have some old TVs from the mid-70s, one Philips and one Grundig, both from 76, and they are both working excellent. They used to need a radio license in the UK. They needed one here in Ireland too. Underscore says, I should use my Aurora, feed it from a laptop of your feed and record it to Betamax or VHS in 405 and send it over. What do you class as vintage though? Oh, well, I suppose anything over 25 years old can be classed as vintage now, can't it? I don't know. That's that piece of string question, isn't it, really? There's things that are vintage now that were never vintage before. Got too many TVs in the house now. Need furniture out of the way to get more. Well, how many televisions have you got, Richard? There's still a lot of people buying black and white licenses in the UK. 15 televisions in the house. And the analog only TV is now vintage. Indeed, that will be true. Yeah, I think I've seen that one, Chipmunk, alright. Are plasmas approaching vintage? I would say yes. Yes, they are. That white sapphire is the cable which is feeding the video from the camera to the modulator. It sure is. It's a glass Heineken tankard. And Norman Donny's still using a 2006 plasma TV. You won't be cold. What's the phono connector then? Hmm? This is where the video is coming from. Oh, the black cable. Where's that? Oh, this one. This one is feeding a light. Yeah, move that over there. Yeah. Indeed. In fact, we can see if we can turn that light down a bit. It's a bit better, is it? Ooh. That's a bit too it's a bit too dark, is it? Yeah. Anyway, it's a bit easier on my eyes anyway. Peter Joyce has had difficulty getting Jack Chat. Yeah, it's a Pi 368. Indeed, Chipmunk. The plasmas were very power hungry. I think I remember some of them are up near 500 watts. Dimmable is fancy, alright. One is one of these halo things that the young ones use on Instagram that I found in a skip, by the way, didn't buy. And then the other light is just a normal bulb run through my Variac. To get the best picture quality, sometimes I do mess around with the old lighting here on the live streams. That, and I don't want to be blinded either. Big workshop lights, they are quite bright. Basket. Oh yeah, it's a Pi 36338 chassis. The Lopti killer. No worse than the Philips, I suppose. We have had one that had a lot gone, and this one goes, and that's it. Do I have another one of these? No. I have this, and in the exact same cabinet, I have the single standard 169, which I must dig out too. I had a first generation Samsung 400 watt during bright scenes indeed. Be careful, Brett, or he will drop 100 TVs at your house. Two dozen big TVs, 1 dozen small portable 405 line. Peter Joyce asks, am I going to be seeing Mike again anytime soon? I don't know. I haven't been in touch with him for a while. So I don't know. I must get in touch with him. It was an interesting video that early. I have some plasma tweeters from the 60s. Lonofan, interesting small. Here's a competition we can do for those of you who do collect televisions, right? And we'll put this in the chat. And we see if someone can win this competition, right? Now, not everyone will even know. However, how many TVs do you have? We'll see who has the most. That's interesting. We'll include CRT computer monitors. In fact, what we will do is we'll say anything with a CRT. So who was the most? Collected or in the house? Doesn't matter. How many have you got? Norman Tony has 5. Brian Oman has 2. Cody's has 0 televisions. George Christophe has none. Chipmunk has 9. Brum Adam has 6. I hope someone's writing this down. I feel like every remaining CRT in the UK is owned by someone in this realm. Somewhere between 50 and 60, says White Sapphire. Oh yeah, now we're getting going. Who else? All the gear, about 6 for all 405. Reese has 6 altogether. Irvine 70 is 4. Michael White is 2. Muric Hailstone says 13 CRTs at last count. Not at home, but must be around 20, says Kevy B. Shane Bright, last Christmas I made a whole day's BBC programming from various years that I watched all day Christmas Day. Great bit of nostalgia. I downloaded it all from YouTube, but idents and everything. Very good. Bretsky has 2 televisions. Right. So who was the leader there? I think White Sapphire was in the lead there with between 50 and 60 television sets. Interesting. Between 50 and 60. Some people have sensible numbers of televisions, like, 2. Alan Hurst is 15, so he's in second place at the minute. No, sorry, he's in third place because Murray Hailstone has 13 CRTs. So who else have we got here? So I think White Sapphire is winning at the minute. Has anyone else here got a rake of television sets? Surely someone can beat White Sapphire 60. Seems pretty. We know people that have hundreds. We know of people who have hundreds of televisions. Shane Bright says, Baskib says he lost count after 160. Sounds good. So he's in first place now at the minute. I only have one vintage TV set, but might be people with the amount of radios I have, about 25, says Mr. Bright. Very good. So Barry is in first place at the minute. White Sapphire is in second. Rory Castle in third. George Christophe has radio. All right, George, let's get into the radio thing for a minute. We're going to ask people how many radios they've got in a minute. Anyone who goes off topic will be banned immediately. White Sapphire have about 30 radios and about 12 record players, about 4 or 5 tape recorders. Murray Keystone says, I could add 2 more if your count broken sets. Oh, yeah, well, this is an interesting thing. So, how do you define a television? I asked a friend of mine a few years ago who collects buses, vintage buses. And I says, how many vintage buses do you have at the moment? And he said, define vintage bus. So I said, well, I don't know, bus. I says, yeah, but do you count a chassis as a bus? And do you count a bus with the roof missing off it as a bus? And the bus. So I don't know, I gave up. But he had about 50. Plausible deniability, says Neil. Indeed. So Barry has 160 televisions. Well, no, he's more than that. He stopped counting at 160. Yeah, I don't know how many I have either. I could count how many I have in this shed. That's a television. That's one. You turn on the light here and see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm counting computer monitors as well. 18. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. These are televisions as well. 26, 27. 28. $29. 29 televisions that I can count of, but I'm sure I've got more. In here. Oh yeah, 30. There's a Philips TV waiting in under the bench. Of course. Yeah. Back to the chat. 40 people watching, 39 thumbs up. Thank you all, everyone. Thank you all. We do. I don't know how many radios I have. Oh yeah, sorry, I read that. Up until 99, I had a Rediffusion Mark IV chassis as my daily driver. Then a Philips CP110 up until. Pre-2000 for a vintage bus. I don't know. They're collecting all sorts. E400s are being collected now. Step darts and stuff like that. Our color temperature is constantly adjusting, cool to warm and back. If you counted component drawers, then Michael Dranfield would win. Yeah, he would. I have no old radio, says Reese, apart from one medium wave that was in an old doll's house we got off a relative. Real old unmarked germanium transistors in it, one of which was shorter than 2 of the pins. That was the detector diode. Chipmunk. Shane Bright says daily radios are between XH Data, DOA, yeah, excellent radio, R600 and a Rambler. Brian Oman. Up as far as the RV buses. If you're in Dublin, I don't know. I mean, low number AV now has to be vintage at this stage. They're 23-year-old. 82 in the shed, the rest in the house and other sheds. Very good. The Cable Red Fusion story is an interesting one. Yeah, it's not one of them. 7 Bradfords. I take it that's deck of Bradfords. Rich Clips asks, how many has Shango 66 got? I don't think he has all that many because I think he moves them on. I'd say he's a few, alright, but I don't think he's as many as people think. Because I remember watching one of his videos years ago and he was saying that he usually doesn't keep them. He sends them on. Well, to be honest, you get burned out doing repair videos and stuff. There's a lot of that's worse. Certainly not a broadcast quality camera, I can tell you that. I have the odd one or two radios and a hacker. Boo, hacker. Actually, I like hackers. Yes. New Powell. Ooh, New Powell. Do. For the radio people. Where's that? Wait. Do. Now, let me catch up with the chat. Oh, that's got a few people thinking, all right. Chipmunk. That went on one of my in the chat room. Me typing Monarch on fire. Chris says he used to be a fan of Shango, but he became very political. I agree with his political views. So half the time, so it doesn't bother me. Peter Joyce, what about the Hitachi with the blue resistor? Inquires Kepi. Sharp TVs, boo, bad experiences with Sharp television sets. News Radio is going for hacker because Roberts have given him grief. Yeah. Roberts for the masses. I like that. Chipmunk's desk off for Christ. Jim Simpson. got about a dozen radios, all multi-band jazz in the 70s. The Daily One is a Grundy concert boy. Don't necessarily disagree, but kind of think us tech guys are above identity politics. Yeah, I don't get into politics here, as you all know, because we'll never agree. So, leave it for other places. Colorist is here too. Good evening, Colorist. It's now 10 past 10. Big problem with hackers nowadays is that they only go up to 101 on FM. Yeah, that is a problem. My glass is empty, so as the diode said to the transformer, I need to rectify that. Very good, Peter. Cody's loves all the gear. No idea, that's nice. Which kicks about 3 stations around here. Yeah, that's not great. Messing with potassium nitrate. It had got the desk impregnated with. Oh dear. That's not good. JRC says Northern Rambler. Aye. Radio Restorations by Colin has 120 radios, many Roberts, and one hacker. So he's going to be he obviously voted for Roberts. We can see the results of that live the poll now. We see how many people voted in the poll. How many people voted in the poll? 20 votes. Come on, people. 35 is watching. Vote in the poll now. Right. Amended the poll. It's an interesting poll. What do you think of the poll? 66%, 2/3 of people prefer Hacker over Roberts. I don't have either of their radios. Mine are mainly Bang & Olufsen. Oh, very good. Chamber, I have a brand new R606 in the box of paperwork and receipts. Very good. Expected results, indeed. Some people will disagree, though, obviously. It's almost political. Right, I shall return shortly. Yeah. Shouldn't we have a test card to look at? Yeah, I suppose you should, yeah. That would be difficult though. Yeah. Yeah. There'd be too much floating around involved in giving you a test card, so you're not getting one. You should have Chinese music to listen to when I'm not here. Um, well done, Mr. Grimm. Welcome aboard. Um, uh, do mobile phones count as radios, perhaps? I have a couple of old phones here too. Richard has a Sony reel-to-reel video recorder. Very good. Needs. You can't keep everything either, Kevin, as you know. I seen the pictures, Matt. Actually, well done. Um, she looks fairly manky inside, all right. Am I weighing on my ear today? Dear old air. Such a question to ask. Test card only needs to be a square of cardboard with a big circle in the middle. And we're not fussy. Oh, I'm sure we could do something then, yeah. Cody says he has a video to make sometime of a Roberts that some random chap gave him at free at the MVCF. Sounds interesting, alright. Not only that, I knew you'd be interested in it, so I put an extortionate price on it on the Bring and Buy stall. Just to see what would happen. Someone's off the head, John Joe. They're looking, whatever, I don't know, I think it'll put like £60 on it or something stupid. Um, look, £60 for Roberts off their head. And it's like, oh, yeah. That's scandalous, Cody. That's scandalous. Yeah. Do you want it? I just picked it up and gave it to him. I had my fun, and that's all that matters. Great crack. Do. Jim Simpson's here. Good evening, Jim. We are on an hour and a half nearly. And the television is on about 2 hours. And I think, considering it's performing very well, it's had a bit of a wake up from a long hour's sleep. It's had its snoozy snooze for quite a while. So it's doing well. 33 people watching with 45 thumbs up. That's good, alright. We have people that come in and we have people that go out. So, yeah. Doing quite well. Do. Who is going? Chris is going, is he? Great times always. Off to bed tonight, everyone. Regards, Chris. Good night, Chris. Mind yourself. We'll see you again soon. What year is that TV? Inquires Peter Joyce. I'm not sure. I'd have to open it up. I can't remember. It could be anywhere from between 1969 and 1972. But what year he is, I'm not quite sure. Now, that's not the answer I want, I'm sure, but very early 70s anyway, at least. Is the TV on a south test after repair? No, it's just on a bit of a run up. It's been sitting there on its side for a while. So I thought I'd throw it up on the bench and try out my camera, which is about as much use as a chocolate teapot. The lighting conditions on the other camera and everything is not set up ideally. Probably could squeeze a bit of a better picture out if we put a bit of effort in. But I think the Vidicon or whatever is fitted in that camera is probably past its best. Codys, tell us more about when you went diving in Muff. How deep did you go? Up to your wellies. I'm not going to go into the details about that, Codys. I wasn't. As I say, I've never actually been to Galway, or Donegal, should I say. Right, chaps, I have to be off. See, things I need to do. Speak soon, Peter Joyce is away. Good night, Peter. I'm away. Have a good one. Catch you all later. Good night, Codys. Take care. And best of luck with that Roberts radio. Kev B says, lol, the amount of since warranties have expired is frightening. Chipmunk says, Kev B, Peter Joyce is away. Good night, Peter. Good night, Rayborn. Take care. And it has started raining again outside. Yes, good night, everyone that's leaving. I'll probably pull the plug sound myself. It looks like a few of you are gone. See, if you are watching, do say something in the chat. We like it when you interact. The more interaction, the better, because I find it hard to think of things to say sometimes. Thinking of all this shit to say. And what do you say? You've said it all already. And now the live chat has vanished, and now it's back. Okay. White Sapphire is back. She has fed the cats. Some of us are still present, even if preoccupied. I know. I hope all the cats are fed. Shall look that up. Donnie is still here. Needs already. It's actually gone from 30 to 34. It has. It's jumped up. She came back a while ago, John. Did she? You see, I do miss. Sometimes if there's a rush of comments or I'm saying something, I do miss a few, which can happen. I remember someone got really upset one time about that. Really, really upset that I had missed their comment. Called me racist and all sorts of shit. Unfortunately, we had to push a button on them to make them go away forever. And then we never seen them again. You'll always get the odd head case though. Alan Hurst is on the vino. Good man, Alan. Well, I'm down to my last can of Heineken. And then I'm going to go into the house and eat something and go to bed. Because I want to get up in the morning and paint my container if it's dry. That's the plan anyway. Painted the roof the other day, which didn't take too long. Then it started raining. All fat, round, and pudding. Pudding is good. Pudding is good, Chipmunk. I miss having a cat. We always had cats over the years, but we haven't had one now for quite some time. So I am contemplating getting another feline friend. Your local Wilco's is closing down. Are they all closing down now? Going to watch a £1 DVD and the £3 Blu-ray player using the £5 remote control. Yeah, there's some sort of economics at work there, all right, Kevy B. Eliza John 5 is here. Hi, JJ. Hope you're well. All is well here. White Sapphire says she's trying to get a comment on Clive's chat. Good luck with that one. What sort of a comment are you trying to get? Fizzy water is good. I like the old fizzy water myself, I must say. And sometimes I squeeze a bit of lemon into it. Until the cone disintegrated, yeah. I've had some fun with rusty speakers in the past on pre-war radios. Norman Donny is on a diet of cream soda. Sounds good. Colin is on Ruddle's best. Good, decent ale. Still able to get PP9s. I've gone down this road. This is the road I've gone down for PP9s. And these are dirt cheap on AliExpress. Available in all flavours and sizes. Quite handy. Donny says our animal rescues has over 100 cats. Yeah, there's no shortage of poor cats out there. They went bust. There was talk, all right, on one of the forums going back a few months that they might have been in trouble, all right. Do pets get quarantined between the UK and Ireland? No, they do not. There's no quarantine between the UK and Europe either. George Christophe has guinea pig. Yeah, I believe they farm them and eat them in South America. Interesting little creatures. So he's just saying, yeah, no, there's no problem with bringing pets to and from. Did I ever hear of Kilroy's? I heard of Kilroy's, but only through the other gentleman that I was down that long with, Mike Burke, because he had a lot of Kilroy's stuff when they closed down. He was still open. So there's a few TV service manuals with Kilroy's stamp on them here in the collection. George Christophe's going down the 18650 and 3270 700 room rechargeable. Yeah, that's something I've been thinking about as well, alright. Dave O'Toole is here. Good evening, Dave. How are you? Halford's still doing them, but I think they're probably rather expensive. Rich Clips just bought a Murphy U512. Alan Hurst has budgies and cockatiels, so no cats for him. Grant's triple wood scotch going down the street, says Ian Deacon. Good man, Ian. Good man. Elijah Jones says more and more people have stopped watching TV. Do you think eventually will become extinct? Yes, I do. Well, I'll tell you, we talk about TV shops going extinct, which they have, but no one ever talks about the poor aerial rigger. Years ago, when a new housing estate went in, the first man that went in the van was the aerial rigger. Every housing estate that was built, an aerial rigger went into every house, put an aerial on it. Them boys are finished now. And that's sad. A trade in itself. Very brave men too, climbing up them poles. They'll still be there. The channels will still be there. The big ones. The big ones will still be there. Yeah, definitely. But it's a change in time. When When RTE2 came out in '78, everyone had to get a new area. Honest to God, different saying. It's amazing how attached you get to these animals. All right, white sapphire. They're going into Ethernet wiring and stuff like that. I suppose if you're in that game and it's all you've known all your life, you'll have to reinvent yourself. So many TV aerials around here have the wire hanging off or the dipole bit missing. Yeah, it's amazing how many aerials are still up that are clearly not being used anymore. Dishes are going the same way. Of course, yes, Sky are pushing this glass stream and don't really want to have dish installers. No, they don't. It's so simple. Then the telecom crowd is the one that's responsible for the connection. It's genius, isn't it? Talk about moving your problems down the road. Till the mid '80s, there was an old H-type aerial on top of the local shops. There's a thread running for many years on the UK Vintage Radio Forum about a 405 line TV aerial um, still in existence, And it's amazing how many of these old arrays still exist that haven't picked up signals at all since at least 1985, but they're still there up on poles. Them old boys knew what they were doing, and they don't make stuff like that anymore. All the copper techs are going to have to retrain on fibre or take the lump. Yeah, well, it's the same here too. Yeah. The national telecom company here was called, well, obviously at one time it was tied in with the post office. It was the P&T, Post and Telegraph, and then it became Telecom Ireland. Then it got privatised as such, and it was called Aircom. Then that went bang, and it turned into something called Air. Um, but there's very few of those lads going around them vans now compared to what there would have been at one time. There's a couple of the old boys still knocking around, you saying them, but very few. It's sad. I can remember used to bump into all these kind of characters every day. As I say, I often said I lived on the main street in Swords. Every week you'd be walking up the street, one of these outfits will have a hatch open on the street and to be in finding a fault with a telephone line or something. Don't see that anymore. That's another way of life as well, just like the TV repairman, the area rigger. They're gone in the bin as well. But you know what the problem is? The problem's going to come in another 10 or 15 years. There's not going to be anyone left that knows how to do anything. And that's when the real trouble will start then. Same in the motor trade as well. A friend of mine is a service manager in Renault Trucks. And he was telling me that he had a 4th-year apprentice a couple of weeks ago who was working with a mechanic. And they were fault finding on a set of headlamps in the truck. And the mechanic said to him, gave him one of the probes off the meter and says, get a good ground on that. And he took the probe of the meter and put it to the concrete floor in the workshop. And your man says, what the fuck are you doing? And he says, what am I thinking? Sorry, boss. And he went over to the truck that was parked beside him and put the probe onto the wheel nut on that. And this is not a 4th-year apprentice. Not a lad that was after starting last week who didn't know it. You'd say fair enough. 4 years after spending, going to college 3 times in them 4 years and couldn't work a multimeter, didn't know the very, very small basics. That's the motor trade. That chap's coming out of his time in a couple of months, and he's going to be a fully qualified mechanic who doesn't know how to use a multimeter. God knows what else he isn't able to do. But they're passing all these lads. It's frightening. I don't think he was having a Monday morning round. The same gentleman told me a few more stories about what apprentices have been doing and stuff, and lads in general, and it's fucking frightening what's going on. One of the problems is, and I was talking to another gentleman today, a friend of mine, who works in one of the large Irish colleges, prestigious colleges here in Dublin, and he was saying that I actually had relayed that story to him, and he had said, well, the reason I said how did he get through his college phase if he's that bad? And he says, well, the reason why is they're just passing them even if they fail, because the government grants that the colleges get are based on the number of people who pass the previous year for the next year going on. So that's the reason they're all being pushed through. Whether they pass or fail the exams, they're being marked as a pass anyway, unless they're really, really fucking shit. But I mean, they'd have to be, really bad. So that's what's going on. It's all fine and well to say they're laptop jockeys, but as we all know, Ray, the little laptop doesn't go in there and fix the car. So that's where the problem comes in. In fact, I disagree with you to say they're laptop jockeys. It's very hard to find someone who can do laptop work on a car or truck or bus who knows what they're doing. Finding a good laptop man is very difficult, actually. I know, Chipmunk, I don't think you'll be that bad. Oh yeah, Michael, the quality of aerials is very poor. Alright, I've had a few newish ones over the last few years, and they're not great. Matt Grimm says apprentice trade in Ireland is really bad. It is. And I know you're in Germany, and I believe in Germany that they have a very good apprenticeship system in place. They only have to be able to pick up a screwdriver. It's just sad. It annoys me. I'm a fully qualified HGV mechanic. That's what I serve my time to. And when I see arseholes like the chap I just relayed the story about, getting the same piece of paper that I have, it makes me quite angry, to be quite honest. And one of the reasons why I more or less refuse to work in that trade anymore. I've clients who are stunned I can do PCB repair and run the business. Unreal underscore, yeah. The skills are being lost, Jim. Yes, indeed. And you go into garages, etc., and you see the first year apprentice working with the second year apprentice and this kind of shit, instead of them working with mechanics, which is a very poor practice. And that seems to be commonplace now as well. So they're not even getting the opportunity to learn that, and even if they are interested. Things move on though. When I joined the BBC around 40 years ago, I was in awe of the old guys who could deal with the Strowger source selection. Things move on, alright. I think I did my best, but I was obviously more comfortable with the digital replacement. Underscore says hands-on only way. Rob's radio channel has returned to the chat. Even the electrical trade is being a little bit dumbed down. Nobody does fault finding anymore. Just replace the entire LED fixture. Why? Replace the driver or the find the dead LED. Yeah, it is. I know a couple of lads who are qualified electricians who frighten me. Chipmunk says Clive feels the same way. Obviously, BigClive.com. That's is why he doesn't keep his electrical certificate up to date. There's no bloody point. Yeah, indeed. Brian Almond says no one has house phones anymore. And indeed, we have a phone number and no phone. It seems, Nurik says, it seems all areas of repairs are going down the same path. Just replace the whole module rather than fault finding and repairing at component level. Nobody will know how to repair anything soon, indeed. Alan Hurst tomorrow project is a Crown TV radio, 5 TV 64, 5-inch black and white UHF only 98 coming out, blowing the fluff off it beneath fresh air for the first time in 50 years. Good man, Alan. Around Christmas, my son's car brakes needed doing. I had my car booked in for a service at the same dealer, and as they said, no appointments until January, I just can't flip his car. Um, but no, the service person just can't do the brakes and vice versa. Strange. And a mobile with two SIMs because I can't. Good man, Chipmunk. Rob's radio channel has been practicing fault finding for the last 3 years. And he's getting good at it. Good to know. Neil's radio was a mechanic and did everything. Matt Grimm said, I was in the auto electrical in Ireland. I repaired starters and alternators and did electrical work. Never did an apprenticeship. I wasn't allowed to. I had to buy a PC and the OSCD tool to fault find. Good man, Matt. Brian Norman says apprentices nowadays are wrapped up in our mobile phones. That is very correct. Yes, Chipmunk. Fault finding comes in handy for the likes of us, alright. The tech on an Aston Maxi was probably not very high. No, but there's lots of little things that'll catch you out on stuff. Even the old gear. As Northern Rambler says, obsolescence is built into everything now. A 100-year-old AM radio still works, but a 6-year-old DAB radio is obsolete as it can't receive DAB plus. That's right. Yeah, that's quite right. And these lads are working on your cars, they aren't they, Brian? Don't know if anyone has seen the Retro Electro workshop on yesterday in the UK. It's come up a couple of times here in the live stream. Some people are for, some people are against. Have another TV in the living room behind the couch. Needs a new power supply U-board. 72-inch. Oh, fuck, that's too big. George Christophe says, never use a digital multimeter on vehicle electrics. Good man, George. This is the one you want for vehicle electrics. Where is it? Ah! That's the one you want for your vehicle electrics. AVO 12. And the reason why you want that is because it's a very low input impedance. Cars don't obey Ohm's law, indeed they don't. George says, I still have a Cousins test tune meter for that work. I have one of those here somewhere. Indeed. It's a different story when you get into the big amps. Ghost voltages. Indeed. I seen a chap one day who couldn't understand why 24 volts at the tail light of a bus, but the tail light would not illuminate. Of course, it turned out to be dirty contacts in a relay. Actually, that's where this meter came from, because the same garage, that meter was thrown out, and I took it out of the bin, and I used it to prove the point about input impedances on meters. Ah, yes, because when this lad was put across it, there was no reading. But when the digital multimeter with the 1 meg input was put across the course, it's still seeing 24 volts. Yeah, that's where that came from. It was obsolete and crap. Well, there you go. Now, would I hang that off the end of a CAN bus line or something? Probably not. It's now 5 to 11. No, it's 10 to 11. Apologise. Use DM to read 115 volts on oven casing the other day. Definitely an open circuit there, most likely. Everyone needs to start somewhere. Indeed they do, Rob. Indeed they do. Going to be pulling the plug now in a minute, lads, just to give you a fair warning. The earthware snapped in the oven switch behind it. Oh dear. That could happen, alright. The entire kitchen ring had no air. Oh dear. Oh. That's not good. Neil's all radios is off. Nice to catch up. Nice to catch up with you too, Neil, and we'll see you in the next one. We do hope you have enjoyed this live stream, lads and lassies. Because the Shoutcast service has ended, any Roberts radios that use it are now useless after only 6 years. Indeed, Chipmunk, yes, and some of double insulated stuff as well. I'm glad everyone enjoyed themselves. We shall do it again in the near future, and all will be well with the world. As a White Sapphire says, and there I was just getting to the point where I was able to get involved. Oh no. Wonderful stuff. Alright then, lads, I'm going to pull the plug. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Good luck. Bye. There it is. All over.